You ever feel like you're walking, but the ground isn't moving? Like you're taking steps, doing all the right things and still stuck in the exact same place? That's what life feels like when it's in buffering mode. You look around and see motion, calendars full, goals set, boxes checked. But inside, nothing's downloading. You feel disconnected, heavy, frozen in place, like you're trying to live with no Wi-Fi to your own soul. And no one told you this part would feel so quiet. But here's the thing, it's not because you're lazy. It's not a lack of discipline or ambition or effort. You've probably been pushing harder than ever. But what if you skipped something? Not a task, a layer, a part of you that you've been told to ignore, how you feel. Yeah, I know sounds soft, but it's not. It's the one thing that actually moves the needle. And today, I'm going to show you why learning to feel might be the one thing you've been missing all along. They told you to give 110%, didn't they? Grind every day. Wake up at 5 a.m. Crush your to-do list. Drink productivity like it's your only source of worth. But no one told you that humans aren't built like machines, and even machines break under constant load. The truth is, society glorifies maximum output the same way it romanticizes burnout. And you, just trying to keep up, start confusing exhaustion with failure. That's not weakness, that's your system asking for mercy. Imagine your brain like a computer. When it's doing too much at once, too many tabs open, too many apps running, it doesn't die, it freezes. The spinning wheel isn't a sign that it's broken. It's actually working overtime, trying to not break. But what do most people do when their computer freezes? They hit more buttons, click harder, panic. Sound familiar? That's exactly what you're doing to yourself when you push harder instead of pausing. You were never meant to operate at 100% all the time. That's a myth, a corporate fantasy sold to keep people hustling without questioning why. Think about your body, it needs sleep to function. Think about your emotions, they need silence to process. Even Olympic athletes take rest days because without recovery, there's no performance. So why do you believe you're the exception? Why do you shame yourself for needing to slow down? Let me tell you something personal. I used to wear my exhaustion like a badge. My calendar was so full, I bragged about it. But then one day I just stopped. My body said, "That's enough." And in that pause, I realized I wasn't lazy. I was overloaded. What I thought was a breakdown turned out to be a breakthrough. I didn't need more motivation. I needed space. Just like a frozen computer, I needed to reset, not force another task. Here's a practice. Next time you feel stuck, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What am I doing too much of?" Too much planning? Too much comparison? Too much saying yes? Step away from the noise. Go for a 20-minute walk with no phone. Journal about what's draining you. Watch how quickly your system starts to unfreeze when you stop demanding non-stop output from a tired mind. And here's the thing, what if your lack of motivation wasn't the problem, but the signal? What if that loading bar you're feeling isn't failure, but the sacred space where real transformation begins? Because the moment you start listening instead of forcing, something unexpected begins to wake up inside you. Your body's not betraying you, it's trying to warn you. That pounding heart, the fatigue that no nap fixes, the tight chest you brush off as just stress. None of it is random. Your body is a control panel filled with lights, gauges, and signals. But instead of reading the signs, you've been taught to ignore them. Push through. Be strong. Swallow the discomfort. But ignoring a warning doesn't make it disappear. It makes it louder. Think of your body like the dashboard of a car. When the oil light comes on, you don't smash the dashboard and yell, "Why are you like this?" You stop. You refill. You take care of the engine. But with your own system, when your sleep gets shaky, when your appetite vanishes, or when anxiety shows up in your heartbeat, you pretend it's nothing. You call it a bad day and keep driving. That's not discipline. That's denial. I've learned the hard way that pain isn't punishment. It's feedback. One time, after months of nonstop work, I started waking up with a tight chest. I thought, maybe it's just nerves. Spoiler, it wasn't. It was my body saying, I can't keep doing this pace. When I finally listened, slowed down, hydrated, adjusted my diet, dropped one project, I didn't just feel better. I became clearer, stronger, quieter inside. Let's get practical. What lights are blinking on your dashboard right now? Is your sleep inconsistent? Are you constantly wired or exhausted? Do you need 5 cups of coffee just to feel human? Those aren't quirks, they're codes. And your job isn't to decode them with Google at 2 a.m. Your job is to pause, breathe, and ask, what am I ignoring that needs attention? That single question can shift your entire life. Instead of overreacting to your body's signals or numbing them with stimulation, try honoring them. If your body says, rest, don't interpret that as weakness. Respond with respect. If your chest feels tight before a meeting, don't silence it. Ask what it's protecting you from. Awareness is the first step. The second, adjusting your inputs. More sunlight, fewer notifications, real conversations, deeper breaths. And once you begin reading your body like a friend instead of a machine, a subtle shift happens. You stop fighting yourself. You begin to move with your energy, not against it. And funny enough, the more you listen, the more your body starts trusting you again. But that trust opens a new door, and behind that door, there's something deeper waiting to be understood. You've probably been taught to treat your emotions like courtroom judges. If you're sad, you think you're broken. If you're angry, you think you're bad. But emotions were never meant to hand down verdicts. They're more like a GPS quietly rerouting you back to yourself. Sadness doesn't say you failed. It signals something precious is missing. Anger doesn't mean you're dangerous. It means a boundary has been crossed. When you learn to listen, not label, you unlock guidance instead of guilt. Imagine this, you're driving with Waze on and you miss a turn. What does it do? Does it yell, you idiot? Or declare, you'll never get there now? No, it calmly says, recalculating. That's exactly how your internal world works, too. Feelings are your emotional ways, helping you adjust, not shame you. But if you ignore the updates or keep turning down the volume, you'll just get more lost, frustrated, and exhausted from pretending you know the way. Let me give you a real example. I once took a job that looked perfect on paper, great money, prestige, stability. But every morning, I woke up with this heavy sadness in my chest. I thought I was just being ungrateful. Turns out I was ignoring my GPS. That sadness was saying, this path isn't yours. When I finally listened and left, clarity returned. Not overnight, but step by step, I started feeling like myself again. Anger, too, has a purpose. Ever snapped at someone and later realized it wasn't really about them? That fire inside often points to something you didn't protect, your time, your energy, your dignity. Instead of stuffing the feeling down, ask it what it's trying to defend. You'll be surprised how often anger shows up to remind you. You matter. Speak up. Listening doesn't mean acting out. It means slowing down long enough to hear the truth underneath the noise. Next time you feel overwhelmed, try this. Instead of judging your reaction, get curious. Ask, what's this feeling trying to teach me? Maybe sadness is pointing to misalignment. Maybe frustration is showing where you need to say no. Your emotions are not enemies, they're signals. But you can't follow the right path if you keep treating the GPS like a threat instead of a guide. And as you learn to trust your emotional navigation system, you'll start noticing something unexpected. Your resistance begins to soften. You stop fighting what you feel, and that makes space for something new to emerge. A kind of clarity that doesn't scream but whispers. You ever call scrolling TikTok for 3 hours your rest time? I did. Every night. I'd lie to myself, this is how I relax. But deep down, I wasn't resting. I was running. Running from the feelings I didn't want to sit with. From the discomfort, the uncertainty, the quiet. Because the truth is, we don't just numb with substances, we numb with habits. Habits that look harmless, even normal, but they steal our presence bit by bit. Numbing looks like just one more episode. Even though your eyes are burning and your soul feels empty, it looks like a snack every 20 minutes because your mind is chewing on something you're avoiding. It looks like opening your phone with no purpose and waking up an hour later not remembering what you saw. These are not evil behaviors, they're survival strategies. But survival is not the same as living. I used to think I was just decompressing, but the more I scrolled, the more drained I felt. That's the catch. Numbing doesn't fill you, it hollows you. It delays what needs your attention and quietly makes the problem feel bigger. The bills pile up, the texts go unanswered, the body grows heavier. And still, we reach for the screen, the sugar, the noise, because facing ourselves in silence, that's the real courage. So here's a little exercise. Tonight, when you're tempted to drown your thoughts in distraction, pause. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Don't try to fix it, just name it. That alone starts breaking the spell. Then do something small and different. Journal for 5 minutes, sit in stillness, take a slow shower. Not because it'll solve everything, but because it builds the muscle of presence. And presence is the gateway to change. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the pain, it's admitting you've been avoiding it. But the moment you stop lying to yourself about what rest really means, you begin to wake up. You begin to reclaim your time, your energy, your clarity. You start realizing that peace doesn't come from escape. It comes from learning how to stay. And as you become more aware of how you've been anesthetizing your emotions, a new kind of discomfort creeps in. Not one to avoid, but one to explore. Because behind every numbing habit, there's a truth trying to surface. What if I told you the average emotion only lasts 90 seconds? Unless you resist it. That's right, just 90 seconds. The discomfort you're so afraid of comes in waves, not tsunamis. But the moment you panic, try to escape it, or distract yourself, you feed it. You stretch it. You turn a wave into a flood. The truth is, most people don't suffer because they feel too much. They suffer because they never let themselves feel at all. Here's the thing, emotional pain isn't permanent, but your resistance can be. That tight chest, the lump in your throat, the pit in your stomach. They're messengers, not monsters. And you don't need to run. You need to pause. You need to let the wave pass through without trying to fix, label, or silence it. It's like standing still in the rain, knowing it won't last forever, even if it feels like it will. Let me guide you through it right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Now name what you're feeling. Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it shame? Don't try to explain it, just say it. Then breathe again. Drop your shoulders. Let that feeling exist in your body for 90 seconds. You don't need to change it. You just need to notice it. That's the work, simple but not easy. I used to run from discomfort like it was fire. But one night I tried this. I sat in the tension, put my phone down, and just breathed. It was wild. My heart raced, my chest burned, my hands shook, but then it passed. No meltdown, no breakdown, just a shift. And when it was gone, something softer appeared underneath. Like the emotion had been hiding a deeper message all along. You can try this next time your mind spirals. Don't reach for distraction. Reach for stillness. Put a timer for 90 seconds and just be. Breathe deeply. Sit upright. Let the discomfort rise, peak, and pass. This is how you build emotional endurance. You're not weak for feeling. It's the strongest thing you can do. It's how you stop avoiding life and start experiencing it fully. And once you learn to stay with yourself in the storm, something powerful begins to emerge. Not just peace, but presence. And presence has a way of revealing what you've really been longing for all along. Feeling without action is like reading a map and never leaving the driveway. Emotions show up to move you, literally. They aren't meant to be stored, analyzed, or buried under logic. They're signals for direction, invitations to shift something right now. So instead of asking, why do I feel like this? Try something more useful. What does this feeling want me to change? That single question can transform a spiral into a breakthrough. Maybe sadness is asking you to slow down. Maybe anger wants you to set a boundary. Maybe anxiety is pointing to something out of alignment. Emotions are wise but subtle. They don't yell, they nudge. You just have to stop long enough to hear. And once you do, the next step isn't overthinking, it's doing. Taking one small action to honor what you've learned. Movement doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be honest. Here's a trick that changed the game for me: voice memos. When something hits me deep, grief, clarity, frustration, I pull out my phone and record a quick 30-second message to myself. No filter, just raw truth. I say what I'm feeling and what I think that feeling wants me to do. Later, when my mind gets noisy again, I listen. And guess what? My own voice becomes the reminder I needed, that I already know the answer. You can try it today. Next time something shakes you, don't just scroll or vent. Grab your phone, hit record, and ask, what am I feeling? What's this feeling asking me to change? Say it out loud. Let it be messy, emotional, real. You don't need to post it or share it. This is for you, like a breadcrumb trail back to yourself. You'll be amazed how clear things get once you stop thinking and start voicing. Transforming emotion into movement doesn't mean rushing into big decisions. It means aligning with what's true, then taking the next natural step. That could mean texting someone back, saying no to a plan, drinking water, applying for that job, or even just resting intentionally. Action doesn't always look like hustle. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace on purpose. And once you start moving with your emotions instead of against them, you begin to build something deeper than clarity. You build trust, inner trust. But what happens when that trust meets resistance from the outside world? Well, that's where things really start to get interesting. So now the real question is, what are you going to do with everything you just felt? Will you keep calling it laziness? Will you scroll it away again? Or will you pause, just for a moment, and listen to what your body, your emotions, your inner GPS have been trying to tell you all along? Because the truth is, nothing changes if you don't start responding differently. Not harder, differently. What's one emotion you've been avoiding lately, and what might it be trying to teach you? Drop it in the comments. Don't hold back. You never know who else needed to hear that. And if this hit you in a way you didn't expect, maybe it's time to stop watching your own life from the sidelines. Maybe it's time to step in fully. If you're ready to go deeper into this journey, into letting go, waking up, and reconnecting with the part of you that knows, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This isn't about more content. It's about real connection. And I want you here for that. And if you're still wondering why it feels like you've been drifting through life with no direction, then the next video waiting for you is this one right here. Trust me, that one's gonna make something click. See you there.